Republican Ken Paxton says his Democrat opponent for the U.S. Senate is soft on China, and Six Flags is moving back to Texas. This is Wednesday, August 26, 2026.
Texas Scorecard presents the day's first news for the Lone Star State. The Texas Minute, with your host, Michael Quinn Sullivan.
Well, we're halfway through the week. Thanks for spending part of your Wednesday with the Texas Minute. If you enjoy this daily podcast, please share today's edition with your friends and family. You can also help others learn about the Texas Minute simply by giving it a rating on your podcast app, clicking the thumbs up on YouTube, and tapping like on X. Let's jump into today's news. As a member of the Texas House, James Talarico refused to restrict China's access to Texas land and taxpayer dollars. Now Ken Paxton is making the Democrats' soft on China positions a key talking point ahead of the November general election. Speaking on Tuesday to reporters and a group of veterans at a VFW post in Universal City near Joint Base San Antonio Randolph, Paxton called China the, quote, single greatest threat facing the United States on a global stage. He said Talarico's record indicates the Democrat has failed to take that threat seriously. In 2025, Talarico voted against legislation blocking governmental entities from contracting with companies that are affiliated with hostile foreign powers, including China. Talarico also voted against legislation protecting Texas land from being purchased by individuals associated with the Chinese military. Last year, President Donald Trump invoked the 1789 Alien Enemies Act against alleged members of Venezuela's Tren de Aragua gang in an executive order making Venezuelan citizens who are in the United States immediately removable as alien enemies if they're members of Tren de Aragua and not naturalized citizens or lawful permanent residents. 3 aliens who were detained under the proclamation in Texas attempted to challenge the policy in federal court, but because they were deported under regular immigration law, the U.S. Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals this month dismissed their case as moot. Judge James Ho wrote that while he agrees the case is moot, he wished his colleagues had been willing and able to both address the underlying legal questions and affirm the president's actions under the Alien Enemies Act and the Constitution's Due Process Clause. A federal grand jury has indicted 5 people, including 3 current or former U.S. Postal Service mail carriers, in connection with a scheme prosecutors say involved the theft and resale of checks stolen from the mail. But the kicker is that the alleged ringleader is currently free on bond in a separate Fort Bend County murder case. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Texas, this new indictment accuses Tristan Tremaine Vaughn of recruiting post office carriers to pull checks out of the mail along their delivery routes. Prosecutors say the scheme began in 2022 and involved roughly $24 million in stolen checks. Vaughn's separate murder case predates the federal charges by more than a year. He allegedly fired a gun into a moving vehicle last year while looking for someone he believed had stolen a $92,000 necklace. He missed his target and instead hit an innocent bystander. He was released on a $600,000 bond and is awaiting trial on that charge. On a special edition of Real Texans available right now, I have a conversation with Republican State Representative Andy Hopper of Decatur. We talk about the challenges facing the Lone Star State, including data centers and Islamification. Far from being overwhelmed by the issues, Mr. Hopper offers a unique view on his reason for legislative optimism.
I'm super positive about the outlook for our state.
Right.
I think the reason we're in the crosshairs of all of these different issues, whether it's, foreign terrorists trying to take over our state, or whether it's the globalists or the Marxists, or, borders invasion from the cartels or taking operation control over a border, wherever those things are, the reason Texas is in the crosshairs is because we matter. Like,
right.
We are the state that is going to be the bulwark of defending the fabric of Western civilization. And everyone knows it.
So that interview with Mr. Hopper is available right now on YouTube, Facebook, X, and really wherever you consume video content. And coming up this Sunday, we'll have a Real Texans conversation with Texas Comptroller Don Huffines, looking at what he's learned after a month on the job. Six Flags Entertainment plans to relocate its corporate headquarters from Charlotte, North Carolina to Arlington in 2027. The move will place its top leadership and shared business functions closer to its Texas parks and in the heart of the Dallas-Fort Worth Entertainment District. Company officials say the move is intended to streamline corporate functions, speed decision-making, and bring leadership closer to its park operations. Some of Six Flags' corporate workforce has been housed in Arlington since 2020. Of course, this is a return to Arlington for the company, whose history began more than 6 decades ago in the city with the opening of Six Flags Over Texas. The company now oversees 34 parks and 9 resort properties across North America. You can keep up with the latest news impacting the Lone Star State by visiting TexasScorecard.com. This edition of the Texas Minute was based on the original reporting of Brandon Waltons, Michael Wilson, Travis Morgan, and Sidney Henry. Our producer is Nick Shepard. I look forward to seeing you out around the Lone Star State. Now, go make it a great day.